It's more to the Derrick Rose situation. See, I thought they just ended up, catching it. There's more to the story. Let's see what they talking about.
Came here to see. Now, it looks like the end of the road has come for an escapee by the name of Derrick Groves, who actually had a long run, at least longer than his counterparts. And to be honest with you, I thought at this point, he was long gone out of the country, escaped extradition laws, and was somewhere with his feet up sipping pina coladas on the beach somewhere. Come to find out, this guy was right underneath everyone's noses in a regular neighborhood located where they knew he was there, but didn't even keep in mind there was a cash reward for him if you found him, knowing that nobody surprising somebody he trusts. They have knowing that nobody told on him, surprisingly. But that's until somebody he trusted the most may have did just that, which is crazy.
There's money involved.
But as they say, fury like a woman scorned. And I think Derrick will have enough time to think about this now. From the time he already had, he added a bunch of more time to it, but at the end of the day, he was already fighting life. With that being said, we're going to get into what reportedly happened according to media and see how he was caught after being on a run for half the year. If you don't know, here's a brief recap of what transpired before we got to this point. Back on May 16th of this year, Derrick, along with 9 other inmates, making it a total of 10, would escape a New Orleans prison known as the Orleans Parish Prison. The 10 escapees were Corey Boyd, DeCannon Davis, Jermaine Donald, Derrick Groves, Antoine Massey, Kendall Miles, Robert Moody, Gary Price, Leo Tote Sr., and Linton Van Buren Jr. It said that the inmates managed to escape their cells due to some faulty locks, begin tampering with the lock sliding door for about 20 minutes before pulling it off its tracks and gaining entry into that cell. Once inside, the group ripped off a toilet and sink unit in that cell and cut off horizontal bars from a hole behind the toilet that was used to connect the pipes. This allowed the inmates to successfully escape. Above the hole where the inmates escaped from, the inmates scribbled graffiti in a message to the jail reading, quote, "Too easy, LOL, and we innocent." Law enforcement stated that the guard assigned with watching their cell part was away getting food at the time of their escape. By 1:30 a.m., the group was outside the jail, and by 8:30 a.m., the inmates were discovered missing during a routine head count at the jail. A jail employee who was monitoring surveillance had reportedly witnessed the escape, but did not report it to the deputies. So upon investigation, 3 employees at that jail have been suspended without pay, while officials investigate to see what happened and if they had further involvement in aiding their escape. On May 20th, 2025, a jail maintenance worker was arrested and accused of turning off the water in certain cells in order to aid the escapees removing the toilet. Then on May 21st, 2 women were arrested for aiding the escapees and charged with being accessories after the fact. At least one of the women was in communication with one of the escapees prior to them escaping, as law enforcement found out through investigation. Now on May 22nd, another woman was arrested for being an accomplice. Then on May 23rd, 7 people have been arrested for aiding the escapees, which was 1 jail employee, 1 jail inmate, and 5 other acquaintances. Now, even though they escaped, most of their runs were very short-lived, where most of them inmates didn't even have anywhere to go or just didn't go far and return back to the locations they was at prior to arrest. Literally in the same day, 3 men were already captured, making it now just 7 men on the run. Then 3 days later, on the 19th, another inmate, Gary Price, was captured. Then just a day after that, inmate Corey Boyd was also captured, making it now a total of already 5 inmates that was captured, all in less than a week. Now fast forward to May 26th in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, inmate Linton Van Buren Jr. was captured, and then in Walker County, Texas that same day, inmates Jermaine Donald and Leo Tate was also captured. So now it was down to just 2 more people, Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves. Out of all the escapees, it seemed like them 2 happened to be the most smartest because they lasted the longest. Antoine Massey was captured on June 27, 2025, as he was in the house by himself, located in the 9400 block of Strollett Street in the Holly Grove area. The 33-year-old was captured after a Crime Stopper tip was called in, but Massey was one of the boldest of all the inmates, as he was the only one who would make a video on social media while he was on the run, pleading out to President Trump, Kim Kardashian, and other rappers to help him, claiming that he was innocent.
That was low, but that was dumb at the same time.
Why did you pick me to lie on, bro? It's bigger than certain. I don't know why they picked me for him to lie on, but I never did certain on. Come on,
ain't nobody lying on you, my brother.
That's why I'm asking.
It's up to your lawyer to prove that.
I was one of the ones that was
help wherever you want to help. On your lawyer to help prove that. Your lawyer is your help.
It would state that it was Massey's fourth escaping from a prison in total. Now, after Massey's capture in June, this was Derrick Groves. 28-year-old Derrick was considered dangerous after he had 2 counts of second-degree M and 2 counts of attempted second-degree M, and both charges carried a life sentence. The 2 men during Mardi Gras 2018 and was awaiting sentencing when he escaped from the Orleans prison back in May. Being that he was facing life, it's no wonder why he wanted to escape. Federal and state law enforcement worked real hard together to locate Derrick. Articles state that earlier this month, task force officers would learn that Groves was likely gathered from multiple search warrants and digital evidence. They didn't specify what the digital evidence was, but one could only think that they're referring to either a cell phone, social media, computer IP addresses, or anything having to deal with communication. Or many believe that his girlfriend, who he was staying with, may have ratted him out due to an altercation that they had that same day.
On my soul, Jordan ain't on my block. On my soul, he wasn't up the street. Boy, if I would have known already, I would have told on your ass, boy. Hey, boy, don't blow no kids at me. They gonna be blowing kisses in Fulton County too, boy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Your ass know how to play hide and seek, though, on my soul. But hey, who got that money? Who the one that snitched on?
Now, according to a comment on social media, one user would say, quote, WSB just reported a neighbor said he had been living there with his girlfriend. Then the neighbor said that they heard Derrick and his girlfriend fighting earlier this morning. Then a few hours later, SWAT converged on the neighborhood in the house. I bet nobody called the New Orleans tip line at all. The girlfriend got mad and ratted him out.
He was one of 10 inmates to escape from a New Orleans prison back in May. Groves was found in a home on Honeysuckle Lane yesterday. Officers used a battering ram and a canine to get him to come out. Back here in court, the judge explained to Groves he could fight extradition back to Louisiana, or he could fight it, not fight it, rather. This is what Groves decided.
And do you want to challenge extradition, or do you want to return to Louisiana?
I want to return where I'm from.
You want to go back to Louisiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this will make perfect sense. We see it all the time where a couple gets into it. The female knows that her man is on some sort of probation or parole, and then she reports him for DV or something to that nature of an assault, causing him to then get in trouble. Exactly. In this case, they may have gotten into it, whether she was scared or mad. She probably called and tipped him off, telling them where he was hiding at. And at first I didn't believe it, but then it also made sense because the person he was staying with was never mentioned in any of the articles or any of the media. She wasn't shown on camera during any news broadcasting or nothing. But why is that if she was the one aiding him? Something ain't adding up. Now, according to reports, Derrick was captured at a home on Honeysuckle Lane in Southwest Atlanta as he tried to hide within a crawl space in that home. Several law enforcement agencies, including the Atlanta Police Department and the U.S. Marshal Service, assisted in executing the search warrant at the home that led to Derrick's arrest. With Derrick being arrested, now all 10 of the inmates have finally been caught and will return back to the New Orleans prison, where I'm sure now they'll be placed under more strict surveillance. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Do y'all think he was snitched on by his girlfriend, and she tipped the police off about his location, or do you think somebody else called it in, or it was just good police work? To be honest, he was supposed to be on another island somewhere with his feet up. He's been convicted of double M, so he already know that he's never getting out. So I don't know why he thought hiding in Atlanta would be a good idea, because if you ask me, he should have been on an island, or at least trying to get to the furthest place away from the United States. I don't know. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, the Zones will keep on.
I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all think his girl told only for that money? Or just because of argument? I don't think it was because no simple argument. I think she wanted that money. She seen that money was more important. I gotta get some money and a new dude. So that's what she probably did 9 times out of 10. But that don't even matter. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.